Hi, I'm Larry Jordan. I've been editing film and television for 40 years. I've had a front row seat to every major revolution this industry has gone through. I started where everyone starts in editing, as an assistant editor. I had the great fortune to assist Dee Dee Allen, who cut Bonnie and Clyde and Dog Day Afternoon. I worked with Richard Marx, who cut Godfather Part 2 and Apocalypse Now. If you've never heard of these editors, I'll leave links to their Wikipedia pages down below. The films they cut are legendary. I was in the room watching these legends shape 5-hour first cuts into a 2-hour finished film. That's where I learned about filmmaking isn't about the tools, it's about the decisions. I worked my way up to editor, cut features and television at Warner Brothers, Sony, Disney, HBO, and Netflix. I was nominated for an Emmy and an Ace Eddie for my work on the pilot of NYPD Blue. In the early 90s, my friend Steve Cohn and I cut one of the first studio projects on the Avid Media Composer. It was an HBO film called Teamster Boss. People thought we were crazy. Nobody trusted digital. But we did it anyway, and it changed everything, including my career. Because I was so early in that transition, companies started calling me. I consulted for Avid on the development of Media Composer. I became friends with a guy named Randy Ubilos, who created Adobe Premiere. Randy moved to a company called Macromedia to create a new top-secret editing program called KeyGrip, and I consulted on it. In 1999, it was released to the world as Final Cut Pro. I've been through this before. I've seen an industry-changing technology arrive, and I watched people scramble to figure it out. That's exactly what's happening right now with AI. Fast forward 25 years. I'm cutting a project for Netflix during what's been called peak TV, the most explosive production period in Hollywood history. Every studio was launching a streaming service, and there was more work than people to do it. Aspiring assistants were begging to shadow my assistant, Richard Sanchez, just to learn the ropes. That's when Richard and I created MasterTheWorkflow.com. Master the Workflow was a website which mainly consisted of a video-based course teaching people how to become professional assistant editors. Since then, we've enrolled over 1,500 students to the course, Feature Film Assistant Editor Immersion, at nearly $1,000 each. We figured out how to turn real-world knowledge into something people would pay for and give back at the same time. Then the bottom fell out. Peak TV collapsed. The writers and actors went on strike, and AI started shaking the entire foundation of the film industry. A lot of people panicked. I got excited. When the public version of ChatGPT hit, I went deep, and as generative video models started emerging, Runway, Pika, Luma, Kling, and eventually OpenAI's Sora and Google's Veo, I saw the same pattern as I saw with the Avid in 1992. A transformative technology that everyone is focused on the wrong part of. Right now, most people in the AI filmmaking space are obsessed with which model generates the prettiest clip, but almost nobody is talking about story, about pacing, editorial instinct, shot selection, scene construction, the actual grammar of filmmaking. The AI can generate shots, but who's deciding which shot, and where to cut, and why? That's the craft. And craft doesn't come from a model. It comes from experience. That's why I created AIography. AIography is a community for people who want to learn AI filmmaking from someone who's actually made films for 4 decades. Here's what you get as a member. Weekly breakdowns of the latest AI tools. What's real, what's hype, and what's actually useful for filmmakers. Live workshops where myself and others teach story structure, shot design, and editorial thinking. In the near future, you'll get the opportunity to see Lumarca, the script-to-clip system I've spent the last 8 months building. And AIography is not just about video generation. AI is transforming every part of how we work and create. So we also cover the breakthrough tools that will change your career and your life beyond the timeline. Things like Claude and Claude Code for writing, research, and building things you never thought you could build. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm an expert in all of these. Nobody is. But we'll have a regular rotation of guest experts who will come in and teach us the nuts and bolts of these technologies, so you'll be learning from the people who actually build and use this stuff every day. Finally, and really importantly, you'll have direct access to me and a community of people who are serious about all of this. Not just generating cool clips, but actually making films and other content, and building the skills to thrive in the AI-driven creative economy. I've been the first mover in every major technological shift in my industry. Analog to digital, film to Avid, desktop to web, and now traditional filmmaking to AI. Every single time, the people who jumped in early and learned the craft, not just the buttons, are the ones who thrived. This is that moment again. If this sounds like something you want to be a part of, here's the deal. I'm now offering a founding member tier, and it's an incredible deal. Full access to the premium courses, lessons, interviews, AMAs, and everything I'm building. Founding members lock in at just $29 a month for life. But this is a limited window. Once it closes, the price will go up substantially. It will never be this low again. Click the link below to get to our Skool community, and then go to the classroom and hit the founding member upgrade. And then do me a favor. Come in and introduce yourself. Tell me what you're working on. Because this isn't a course you watch alone. We're building the future of AI filmmaking together, and I want to know who's in the room. I look forward to seeing you inside.